Okay, so now we're ready to do our post-process. The first step to do when you do your post-process is we need to set the thickness of the material to the actual thickness of the material if you didn't do this in the beginning. This is a little test piece, so we didn't do those settings at the beginning, so we have to do it now. So we're going to go to manufacturer up here and change it from manufacturer to design. Under the design, we have to set the thickness of our original block, which is right down here, our thickness, to what the actual material measures, to the nearest thousandth of an inch. You can't tell me that it measures an eighth of an inch or a quarter of an inch. That's 0.125, 0.25. We have no material that measures exactly that. You need to take a caliper and measure it. The material we're going to do happens to measure 0.168. So to the nearest thousandth of an inch, this is your thousandth of an inch, that 8 is in the thousandth position, to the nearest thousandth of an inch. So we're going to go OK. So that's changed my thickness there. Now I'm going to go back to my manufacturer. And I do go back to my manufacturer. Notice each one of these have an exclamation point on them. That's because they need to be redone because of that new thickness. So I'm going to right click on my setup here and go to generate. That will regenerate all of those. You see it working through 100%, 86, 42, 100%. All right, everything's done now. So now we can see that this thing is the correct thickness, and we're good to go with our next step. One of the next things you're going to need to know that I'll ask you when you come in there to cut on the router tables, that I'll ask you the question, how big is your block in the X and the Y coordinates? In the X, I want to know how wide this is, so we need to make sure we have enough space there to cut our piece. This one happens to be 2 inches wide in the X, and in the Y happens also to be 2. So we need a 2 by 2 inch space to cut this piece. Those are some of the things I'm going to ask you, those probing questions, when you come over to cut a piece. So next, we're going to go up to Actions, down to Post-Process. The very first thing we need to do here on our post-process is we have to access the post-processor. That file, we have to upload a file for the post-processor. When I click here, I have to reference where that file is at. At this point, you do not have that post-processor file. To get it, you're going to have to go to this tiny URL. You go tinyurl.com CSP S6. You go to there, and it's going to take you to this document. Let me see, I have it right here, I believe. Oh, I don't. I'm going to have to click on it. It'll take you to this document. Sorry, it'll take you to this document. On this document, you have the steps for everything we've done here so far. You have the link to the router table practice block that hopefully you went through first on step 1 and some information with it. Step 2, that's the CAM. Step 3 is the post-process, which you do now. These are links to all these videos you're doing. It's on this sheet also. And now here's your post-processor file under step 4. So to get to it, you're going to hold your control, go to there, and now it's going to download this file. You need to download it. And my suggestion for this is once it's downloaded, it'll go extremely quick. Once you download this file, save it to your OneDrive. So let me show you where I have this file saved. Under my OneDrive, and the reason I say the OneDrive, you can access this from your school computer, any of the Engineering Academy computers that have Fusion on it, you can access it for anywhere. I'd save it to OneDrive, create a folder called Router Table, and save it right there. That is the Techno CNC Router SS. That's the file you just downloaded. So you put it there on your OneDrive. Now, when we go back to Fusion, we go back up here to my post-process. That's where I'm going to link this to here. And click on the 3 little dots. I'm going to go to my OneDrive again. You just saw where I was at. OneDrive, Router Table. And notice when I do that, it doesn't show me anything here. But it is the right position if you saved it there. It does not show up, but it's actually there. The reason we know it's there is if it comes up down here below and it says Techno CNC Router, Techno CNC Router SS. That is our router in there. So we know it worked right if you did that. Next, you're going to have to make a couple of changes on this. First, Machine type defaults to the HD series. Actually, sorry, it is HDS series. We are the HD series on machine type. I think. We are the HD series. And then we go down here and use tool changer. We change that to a no because we do not have a tool changer on our machine. And right there, we are ready for this next step. Now next, here, program name or number. It has to be a 4-digit number. It cannot be, you can't name it Bob, you can't name it Darren, you can't name it Worcester, you can't name it anything else. It has to be a 4-digit number. It's up to you to come up with a number. I would use a consistent number. If you're working on robotics team 1710, start your number at 17. So if your first 2 digits could be 17, and then 1701 for your first print, 1701 for your second, or cut, for your third, for your fourth, so on and so forth. BattleBots, come up with a number that you like. 55, 73. It doesn't matter, but come up with a number for each one of your teams that's going to be your number that you use for your first 2 digits. Then the next 2 digits come up with whatever you want. I always use 89. So 89, and I've done several this year, so I'm going to go 8915. It's going to be my number. And I'm going to click on Post. When I click on Post, it comes to here. I'm saving all of mine back to my same router table file, so I'm going to save it there. And then honestly, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to just go right back to there again. I'm going to post it again. And this time when I go post, I'm going to change it to my flash drive. I actually don't even have a flash drive in the computer now, but I'm going to change it to the flash drive and post it to the flash drive. First, I want it saved to my OneDrive just so I have a record of that one. And then next, I want to save it to the flash drive that works over there on the router table. Once it's there, that is it. Your post is ready to go. Some of your first ones you do, you might have me look through your file again or your processes again to make sure everything looks good in there. But if you follow the directions through this, you should be good to go. As a side note, one that I did not think about mentioning earlier is sometimes when you go to do the post, it will change it back to millimeters for whatever reason. So you do want to double check and make sure that this is changed to inches, because again, if you post it in millimeters, it will not work. And sometimes it changes that up on you. All right. There you go. I think that's all you need to know, and good luck.